Welcome back to the channel, another segment of Brian Reads the News. This is where I find a news article in the news today. Today we're looking at USA Today, and I take it from my mouth to your ears, let you know what's going on, what's new in the world today. Today I thought, let's go to the money section, right? Money section at usatoday.com, and this one caught my eye. It says, on tap in 2024, more Modelo, tequila, canned cocktails, whiskey, and non-boozy beverages. That sounds like an interesting one, doesn't it? When you see the photo, you'll know what I'm talking about. There it is. I'm not even much of a drinker anymore these days, but that ice cold Modelo caught my eye. It says here, spending on alcohol rose slightly in 2023, but most of the sales growth came from Modelo beer, canned drinks, tequila, whiskey, and non-alcoholic options. Trends likely to continue in 2024. This is by Mike Snyder at USA Today. The article asks the question, what will be the boozy beverages of your choice in 2024? For now, last year's favorites like Modelo Especial, tequila, ready-to-drink cocktails, and non-alcoholic beverages, too, all look to have staying power. Sales of imported beer, especially Modelo, have increased by 1 billion, or 9.1% in 2023. That's a huge gain in a year when total spending on alcohol beverages in retail locations amounted to 89.8 billion, a modest 1.1% increase over 2022, according to data from NIQ's tracking of sales in U.S. supermarkets, drugstores, mass merchandise stores, convenience stores, and liquor stores. A big factor, Modelo Especials supplanting Bud Light as the top-selling beer in the U.S. in May of 2023 amid a consumer boycott sparked by Bud Light's marketing sponsorships with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. So yeah, Modelo's the new top dog. Bud Light went with that controversial campaign with the transgender influencer, and that did not lead to more sales. Modelo took over that top spot, so they'll have to bounce back in 2024 if the king of beers wants to be... Isn't Bud Light the king of beers? Yeah, Bud Light, the king of beers, wants to be the top spot again. They have to make some changes in 2024 for sure. The article goes on to talk about it. It says, don't look for Bud Light to regain its top spot in 2024. Those who boycotted haven't forgotten, and they've found new light beer brands to purchase or discovered spirits-based, ready-to-drink cocktails, or perhaps even cannabis to purchase, said Bump Williams, whose firm Bump Williams Consulting of Sheldon, Connecticut, serves the alcoholic beverage industry. Quote, we no longer had an American beer as the leader during the 4th of July, Williams told USA Today. I question whether we will ever have another, considering the demographic changes of the 21 and older sector. Another likely trend, spending more for what you want to drink. Inflation is a culprit, but producers are charging more. While spending on beer rose 1.4%, volume sold declined 3%, according to NIQ. So it says here, while spending on beer rose 1.4%, volume sold declined 3%, according to NIQ. They got a little chart here. Let me show you guys. There's a fancy little chart. As you can see, the spending went from 76 billion to 90.4 to 88.6 to 88.9 to 89.8 last year. Beer prices rose at the beginning of the year, and consumers have opted for products that cost a bit more than domestic beers too. With imported beers and canned cocktails and other ready-to-drink beverages, Williams said, quote, instead of buying large multi-packs at cheap prices, we are seeing consumers buying smaller packages at a higher price per unit, he said. Here's another look at other alcohol, beverage, and non-alcoholic options for 2024. Here's the next headline in the story. It says here, Modelo is the big beer brand, but others like Coors, Miller, and Yuengling thrive. It says here, beer sales rose 1.4% in 2023, but imports and flavored malt beverages accounted for most of the growth. Some bright spots, according to Williams, include Coors Light and Banquet beers, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Yuengling's beers, Miller Lite, Miller High Life, Lone Star, and New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger beers. However, he added, quote, we are losing beer drinkers to spirits-based ready-to-drink options and flavored spirit drinks. Total beer spending at stores in billions. It has the total spent here as well. A little graph. Let me show you.
There you see it on the left. It says 42 billion in 2019, and then on up to 48.6 billion in last year of 2023. So there's a nice little chart they made for you.
Article continues. It says imported beers including Corona Extra and other Corona beers, Pacifico and Dos Equis, have been on the rise for several years, and domestic beers haven't been able to keep up. Quote, some consumer performances are changing, and definitely the way our population is made up is also changing, said Kelly, their associate director of beverage alcohol thought leadership at NIQ. Quote, I think the Hispanic influence is coming through in a lot of our flavors recently, too, she said, citing more beverage makers getting into the category of saladas, which are Mexican cocktails, usually with beer, lime, and other flavors. Modelo and Bud Light are among the brands now offering cheladas. Cheladas? Is that how you say it? I don't know. Somebody correct me. It also says here Miller Lite mints, ? Miller Lite releases non-alcoholic beer mints for dry January. Non-alcoholic beer mints. That's interesting. What do you guys think of that?
Next headline here says drinks to go, ready to drink and canned cocktails prosper. Flavortown, there you go.
Says they're also expected to remain popular in 2024. Flavored malt beverages such as Twisted Tea, Mike's Hard Lemonade, sales of which rose about 18% in 2023, and canned cocktails such as Jack Daniels and Coke, and those from Anheuser-Busch InBev-owned Cutwater Spirits, which collectively rose about 5%. Ready-to-drink products including flavored malt beverages, hard seltzers, as well as canned spirits and wine drinks rose 6% with sales of $10.7 billion. These are expected to remain popular, and you can expect plenty of new products in the category because new flavored appeal to consumers, They're said. Total spending ready-to-drink products. Here we go. Here's another chart for you.
Look at that increase of the ready-to-drink products. It went from 5.2 billion in 2019 on up to 10.7 last year, 2023. So those ready-to-drink products are where it's about these days.
It says among the new entries, Flavortown Spiked Fruit Punch. That's what we saw in the photo there. Created by Chef Guy Ferrari and Two Roads Brewing Company, which began landing in stores late November 2022, and Sammy Hagar's Sammy Beach Bar cocktails, which recently expanded to Arizona, already available in Illinois, California, Nevada, Texas, Hawaii, and Florida. So we got some celebrities joining in, Guy Fieri and Sammy Hagar. I guess they've been in that industry for quite a while, but they're continuing to expand with some of those ready-to-drink Flavortown Spike Punch and Sammy's Beach Bar cocktails.
Like they're not the only celebrities. The article goes on to say Chris Stapleton, Rolling Stones, Rod Stewart launched celebrity spirits.
Tequila is expected to continue to be favorite for 2024. Sales of tequila at retail stores rose 5.1% in 2023. Quote, we're starting to see a lot of brands launch their version of Cristalino tequila. Charcoal filtered results in a clear liquid, so it's got more clarity to it, Thorold said. Whiskey also rose by 2.8% for the year, while other spirits such as Irish whiskey, gin, Canadian whiskey, vodka, rum, scotch, and cognac saw declines. Total spirits spending in retails in billions. Let's see, here's the chart.
Here's the chart. Total spirits spending at retail in billions. So it went from 6.8 billion in 2019 on up to 8.5 billion last year in 2023.
Goes on to say, not likely to tap out in 2024, spirits with celebrities on board. The newest entry is Traveler Whiskey, a blended whiskey from Buffalo Trace, created with help of Chris Stapleton. Also just hitting stores, Crossfire Hurricane, an aged blend rum with that Mick Jagger and Keith Richards say, quote, is our tribute to the islands that have inspired us for decades. On the rum's website, the Wolfie's Whiskey, a blended Scotch whiskey from Loch Lomard Distillery with Rod Stewart as a partner. There we go. So we got Stapleton with the Buffalo Trace. Traveler whiskey. And then we got Mick Jagger and Keith Richards with Crossfire Hurricane. And we got Wolf whiskey by Rod Stewart. So some major players in the game. Celebrities are stepping up, and it's gonna keep growing, it looks like.
Look at that picture of Chris Stapleton with the Traveler whiskey. Doesn't that make you want to try a sip of it? Look at him. It's a pretty cool photo, actually. We got a separate story here of some of the celebrities with their own line of spirits. Of course, Sammy Hagar on there with his spirit there. It says Kendall Jenner and Thomas Wright also have spirits. Here's the next headline. It says wine sales dip, but go-to options could connect.
Article says sales of wine at retail dipped 1.4% in 2023. However, wine-based ready-to-drink cocktails rose 20%. That could be a strategy for growth. Quote, there are some seltzers and some spritzers that were wine-based, but they fell kind of flat, she said. It'll be interesting to see what brands kind of move into that space with a wine-based drink to help with the recruitment issues that they are struggling with. And they got another chart here. Total spending for wine at stores in billions.
Here's a look at the chart. Started at 17.8 billion in 2019 and dipped a little from 19.7 billion in 2022 to 19.5 billion in 2023. So it's down a little bit for the wine at stores.
It says here some brands that could take off in 2024 include Buzzballs Chillers, which are made with wine, and Sutter Home's line of wine cocktails. Williams said, quote, wine continues to hold its own, and I think the new offerings in portable aseptic packaging will continue to grow. Portable aseptic. That word looked kind of weird to me. Aseptic packaging will continue to grow, he said.
Here's the next article, next headline in the article. Non-alcoholic beer, spirits, and wine sales continue to rise. Non-alcoholic beer, spirits, and wine sales continue to rise. Photo of those buzz balls they were talking about. The buzz ball photos right there.
It says here, consumer interest in non-alcoholic beers and other booze-free beverages won't likely wane in 2024. In 2023, spending on non-alcohol beer, wine, and spirits sales rose a whopping 35% to $565 million in retail stores, the biggest increase of any category. Among the newest non-alcoholic products is Shiner and Rodeo Golden Brew, the first of a planned series of non-alcoholic beers from the K. Spolzel Brewery, makers of Shiner Bock. Makers of spirits are entering the non-booze space too, with Vermont-based Whistle Pig Whiskey recently launching its non-alcoholic ready-to-drink dank and dry old-fashioned cocktail. Non-alcoholic options and more flavorful choices will be imported for brands to succeed, especially as more Generation Z consumers enter the potential market. There are more interested in alcohol in moderation and non-boozy beverages. Young drinkers are also interested in environmental and sustainable issues, she said. One example involves outdoor clothing company Patagonia collaborating with several U.S. breweries, including Sierra Nevada Brewing Company and Russian River Brewing Company, to make Patagonia Provisions Kurna Lager, which is made with kernza, a wheat-like grain that has deeper roots than wheat and requires less tilling and replanting and less use of equipment running on fossil fuels. Quote, I think they're going to start to see more of that make its way into the alcohol space, Derlot said.
There's a picture of that Whistle Pig whiskey. This is the dank and dry old-fashioned cocktail, it says. It's a Vermont-based Whistle Pig whiskey, non-alcoholic.
Yeah, the byline there says that the cocktail is made of 100% rye, non-whiskey, and barrel-aged maple syrup by Whistle Pig Distillery. So that one kind of looks tasty. I don't know, at least the picture looks tasty. So that's the end of that article in the money section of USA Today. Like they said, Modelo's up on Bud Light with first time in years, and it doesn't look like Bud Light's gonna bounce back from that. And then we had all kinds of information on the new stuff that's coming, the celebrity stuff that's coming. looks like next year is going to be an interesting one in terms of what comes to the forefront. Whether these non-alcoholic drinks continue to grow, or some of these celebrity-based spirits continue to take off. Seems like you put anybody in front of it, like The Rock's got his own tequila now, I think, and everybody's got a drink to promote. And social media being as big as it is, you know, you get all these influencers putting their spin on these drinks. It's just a matter of time, you know. Jake Paul and Logan Paul have their sports drink. I'm sure, like, you know, they're gonna jump into the alcohol space eventually as well. These guys with millions of followers and a lot of influence, you know, far more than, say, even Guy Fieri or somebody like that. You know, you got Flavor Town coming out, but you also have others who have way more influence that could jump into the game and make waves much quicker than those guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little article from the money section. If you did, let me know in the comments if you'd like me to continue to do some more of these money section articles. Brian reads the news. Let me know and I'll make an effort to do so. If you want to subscribe and ring that notification bell, then you can become aware of the next story when it drops. But I want to thank everybody for watching this one to the end. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours, so your efforts to watch to the end really helped me out. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.